Hi, this is Bhooshan Kelkar here, and we are going to be taking a look at the career Gestalt test and the report of it and how to interpret that. What you see on the screen on the first page is the concept of Gestalt itself. Essentially, Gestalt is a German word which means whole is other than some of its parts. And so, in career Gestalt test, what we have done is we have looked at reasoning ability, we have looked at various capacity tests, as you will see in those three circles which are intersecting each other. So the blue circle is about capacity, where you have lots of aptitude tests, various IQ tests, capacity related assessments. The other circle is the red, which is practicality, and it means there are a lot of changing industry scenarios. There is cost involved. There are factors such as if the particular career gives you financial stability, does it require family support, etc. And then the last one is the green one, which is liking circle, and there we have multiple psychometry tests. Essentially, we are looking at the intersection of all three circles, and that is where your ideal careers lie. And I've used the term careers because there is not a single career that you are always born for. There are many things that you can do in life, and we need to look at it in a more holistic fashion. And that's the reason why we are looking at Gestalt. So if you look at that particular diagram, you see a set of triangles, black triangles, but what you really perceive is a white sphere, which is originally a three-dimensional figure, but represented on two-dimensional paper. So the idea behind using the word Gestalt in here is that we are taking multiple tests which are indicated by these black triangles, but what really emerges is that elusive career, which is the white sphere career. And so we have built a neural network, and we are using artificial intelligence to look at all three, capacity and multiple psychometric tests, etc. And then we are coming up with suggestions as to what you could be doing and what you are likely not to enjoy. So how to interpret this result? Let me go to the next page, which is really a set of graphs and diagrams. So let me start by talking about the first, and that is Jung's typology type of result. And in this particular case, what you see is personality type being ENTP, which I have circled. Now, these are based on Carl Gustav Jung's 4 switches that he described. So let me explain the ENTP report using the basis of it, which is Carl Gustav Jung's typology. Carl Gustav Jung was a famous psychologist, and he was the disciple of yet another famous psychologist called Sigmund Freud. Carl Gustav Jung talks about 4 important switches, and let me also explain to you that this type of analysis is very common in the corporates, even in the administrative services. It explains the 4 switches, and the population is divided into various combinations. The first switch is talking about how you draw energy from the world. As you will see on the screen, there is the first one, which is E or I, and this talks about how you draw energy. E stands for extraversion or extrovert, and I stands for introvert. Extraversion essentially means you are talkative, you are sociable, you are action oriented. And introvert is where you are quiet, reserved, introspective, you keep to yourself. And why is this important? This is important because if you take example of somebody who is studying law and is scoring, let's say, reasonably good marks in most of the legal subjects, and knows Indian Penal Code, knows CRPC, knows CPC, also has studied case laws, etc., but is a very strong introvert. If that person is very strong introvert, then that person, despite having a lot of knowledge, will not be able to cope up with this thought that the person will have to be a pleading lawyer, where he will have to make cases in the court of law. And so what has been seen as this switch is 15% important in terms of career selection. This is the impact that one sees from this switch of energy. And it is not only applicable to the profession of being a lawyer. You can easily see this is applicable almost equally to being a teacher, being a marketing person, essentially where you need to talk a lot. The second switch is talking about how you draw information. And here there are two types, either you are intuitive or you are sensing. Intuitive indicated by N and sensing indicated by S. Intuitive means that you rely more on imagination, ideas, possibilities, concepts, etc. And sensing means you are driven by data, facts, you focus on the present, and you believe more in sensory information. This switch is especially important because almost half of your career depends on this, 40%. And intuitive people typically are considered overconfident. They are interested in very many topics, so their interests are going horizontal. Whereas in sensing, the style is to go in depth, and so these people tend to go in depth of few topics. Whereas intuitive people are going to be interested in multiple topics, but they will go up to 2 or 3 notches down. It has been also seen N-type people don't like S-type work and vice versa. And so information, how you draw information is very critical. The third switch is talking about how you will analyze, regardless of how the information came to you, either N or S way. And here we are talking about how you do analysis. Either you are a T person or an F person, that is dominantly. And this has 30% impact on your career. So almost 30%, a third of your career depends on this switch. T stands for thinking and F stands for feeling. What we have to remember here are 2 points. One, it is, even though we say thinking means critical, logical, problem solving, as you see on the screen, it is not really measuring IQ, because we are not measuring IQ in this test at all. And secondly, even though feeling is being ruled by heart, being empathetic, giving importance to people, understanding relationships, emotions, etc., this is not restricted only to women, as customarily one might think. So half of women are found to be T. So this has nothing to do with gender. So there is no gender bias per se. So T and F is the dichotomy where we look at how you will analyze. The last switch is talking about how you will react to the world. And here you are either J or P. J is judging and P is perceiving. So J stands for being neat, orderly, structured, established, disciplined, etc. And they go by schedule. They generally are very sensitive to time. In case of P, which is opposite, is more about being spontaneous, flexible, open to new ideas and changes. And this naturally has the 15% impact on the career, adding all of this up to 100%. So what you will see is that the weightage given for these 4 switches is not equal, in the sense it is not 25% each. There are certain switches which are more important than others, and in light of these combinations is what we are going to analyze, which of the careers are going to be more natural for you. What we saw was how 4 switches differentially contribute into career selection. And if you remember, the central 2 switches were contributing 40% plus 30%. And that means almost 3/4 of your career was decided by central 2 switches. What is also important to remember is that all of these switches, either introversion, extroversion, which are opposite to each other, etc., they come in gradation. In the sense, the introversion, extroversion, which is indicated by E and I here, which is exactly opposite of each other and separated by this partition. There are gradations of low, medium and high indicated by L, M and H on either side of this dividing line. So you have introvert low, introvert medium and introvert high here, or extrovert high, medium and low, which also means if somebody were to find himself or herself in introversion low, the person can easily exhibit the other side, which is extroversion. And if somebody is a very high extrovert, which means the person is here, then very rarely the person will show introversion characteristics. And so extroversion, introversion really gives possibilities which are 6. And the 6 possibilities are high, medium, low, and then low, medium, and high. So what we have is a matrix where each of these 4 switches are characterized by 6 different states, and hence you have in the central 2 switches 6 into 6 possible combinations flanked by 6 on either side. So we look for 36 possible combinations of the central 2 switches and make the decision about career selection. So a person who is very high E will behave differently than somebody who is E but still on the low side. And so essentially, if you look at these 2 switches, which we know constitute 70% to your career decisions, there are 36 possible combinations. 36 combinations because there is N and S, which is contributing 6 possible, and T and F, which is contributing 6 possible, flanked on the other the 2 sides, on either sides 6 more combinations. So this graph here that you see, bar graph, you will see that this is an E. Let me take this off so that it is clear to you. So you have E on the medium side, and so the dominant between E and I for this person is definitely E, and so this color that you see is that of E and this color is that of I. So the blue color is that of I, and the color, the yellow color that you see or orange color that you see is that of E. If you look at now the second switch, which is N, then because N is dominant, and as you now know, N has opposite S, so this is S and this is N. So the orange color represents N and blue color represents S. This is showing you numerically how E, N, T and P, which is the 4 switches for this person, are split. Then you also have other tests that you have taken, and that is on the learning styles. So you have visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. These 3 type of learning, acquisition of knowledge, and the explanation of which is given later. So this is also a type of psychometry or the psychological test that we have taken. This tells us how your acquisition of knowledge is happening. In this particular case, the auditory part is dominant. You have 50% of the acquisition of knowledge coming from auditory style. If you look at average, then you would see it's 33, 33, 33. The kinesthetic, auditory and visual is evenly spread, but for this person, auditory and visual combined is 90%, which is significantly higher than the average, which means use of multimedia, use of web, use of internet, use of apps, use of many other multimedia techniques are going to be much more useful for this person than many others. Then we have graph of emotional stability or resilience, and here again emotional stability is about grit, is about how you are going to be able to face examinations, how you are going to be whether you are going to cope pressure for preparation of examination as well as during examination. And so this is a test that indicates that part. If your emotional stability or resilience, it is also called resilience, if it is low, then you definitely have to work on yoga, pranayam, various mudra, various meditation or visualization techniques. If it is medium, then you have to make sure that it doesn't drop into the low region, and so still continue with meditation, yoga and pranayam. And if your emotional stability happens to be high or resilience happens to be high, it means that you will have to pay attention to the yoga and meditation. You will have to think about the motivation and aspirations and ambition and the fire within your belly. So these are the interpretations of emotional stability or resilience. And then you have creativity and innovation, which is indicated by divergent or convergent. So here you have divergent creativity, which means you have ability to come up with multiple solutions for a given problem in a short time, and convergent means you have ability to select between given choices. These are two different lines and they are both contributing to creativity. So what it means is that if you have a balance in divergent and convergent, it is considered good, simply because it means you are able to handle a lot of problems which are multiple choice and descriptive at the same time, if you have a balance. If the divergent or the green color bar is much more, and if it is 100 0, which means convergent is 0 and divergent is 100, it means that you will struggle a lot in terms of multiple choice questions, which is corresponding to convergent. And on the other hand, if your blue color bar is 100 and divergent is 0, then you are very good at multiple choice questions or one line answer, match the following, fill in the gaps, those type, but you are going to struggle in essays and letter writing and whatnot. So descriptive questions in general you are going to struggle. So these are the parameters that we measure, and apart from the reasoning ability, the English verbal ability and memory patterns, etc., these are the patterns which these are the measures or parameters which contribute into selection of the careers. So one of the things that we focus on is what are the careers that you are unlikely to enjoy. For example, in this particular case of the candidate, likely to be not interested in the careers is a section that you will find in your report, and it says a majority of people of your personality have not selected the following careers. So this does not mean you can't succeed, it's just that it is not a career that you would happily enjoy for a very long time, like 20, 30, 40 years. So we are not precluding you from taking up these careers. We are just saying that these are not the areas or careers that you will enjoy for a long term. The ability is not something that we have commented when we list these type of things. And similarly, when you look at the careers that you will enjoy, here you will see they find scope in the interest in technical skills with objects and facts is one type of result that we are taking in an exemplary manner. And so based on this, the careers which do justice to this basic underlying philosophy of technical skills with object and facts is something that you see. And this is not in any particular order, nor it is exhaustive list. We are not suggesting by any stretch of imagination that being a lawyer is the best suitable career for this person than a computer programmer. We are simply looking at a common thread that runs through all these professions, which is the technical skills with objects and facts is the real crux as to how the career selection should happen. And so this is where I would say the career selection piece, the interpretation of the result would end. And then there are other aspects like skills, Gestalt or skills, which you should employ in order to improve your performance, and also converting not mere hard work but hard work to smart work. That we will take up later.